Well, I met Ruth when I joined the Communist Party. She was a journalist, did a lot of work in South Africa, and she was killed by a letter bomb. Craig Williamson had planted a letter bomb. She was a lecturer at the University of Maputo, and one day, I think it was meant for Joe Slover, her husband, but it got her. She died immediately. And he's free. He's actually quite... I think this guy is a farmer now. I saw him on SABC. He's got a big farm outside Johannesburg. And he said it was a loop. When Ruth's daughter was on SABC and interviewing him, said, "Why did you kill my mother?" He said it was a loop. It's a government loop. Everybody did a little something. You can't commit one particular person. So that's how he got out of it. She walked out of the debate. On television, she just walked out of the room.
Mm.
He was an informer, came to London, did his informed on lots of people. Clever man. Informers are very clever, aren't they? That's why they're informers.
How did you know her?
Well, I shared a flat with her in Johannesburg. She'd left home because it was too far for her to go home every day. So Ruth and I shared a flat in Johannesburg. She was my flatmate for a while. And then I left and she left, and what she was doing. She spent most of her time underground with Joe. They were arrested all the time, arrested, rearrested. And she wrote a book called 190 Days. She mentioned her girlfriend, which was me. You don't give names. And they released her, and they released her, and half an hour later they arrested her again. She had a terrible time, a terrible time.
Mm.
People went through a lot, Tamish. They left the country. They had to leave the country. They managed to get away, and they lived in Camden for quite a while. And I think she taught at Durham University. She had 3 children: Sean, who wrote a film, and Robin, and Gillian Slover. You might have heard of Gillian Slover. She's a writer. So they had 3 children. And he denied that he did anything, but he did. He sent the letter bomb. And I don't know if he sent the letter bomb to L.B. Sachs, who lost an arm and an eye. And then there was a family called the Schoons in Angola, and they were trying to kill I've forgotten his name, Schoon, but he was living in Angola with his wife and 2 children. He happened to be out of the house at the time. The wife opened the mail, and the letter bomb killed her straight away and the 1 child. And when he came home, he found his other son roaming around the house with all the body parts all over. That was in Angola. So they were working in Angola as well. They were working in Angola, Namibia, working everywhere. And lots of white South Africans came away when they were conscripted to go and fight in Namibia. They left the country. A lot of white South Africans left the country. They came away, joined the anti-apartheid movement. They didn't want to fight a war against the SWAPO, Southwest African People's Organization.